In this demo for Access Project 2, the textbook project, I'm beginning on the top of page 2-39. With slide 5 displaying, we're going to click the ruler. So I go to the View tab and I want to click the ruler to turn it on so that I can see the ruler across the top and down the left side. I'm also going to click the Grid Lines checkbox to place a check mark in the box and display horizontal and vertical grid lines. So now you can see on my screen what it looks like. Then we're going to position the shapes. So the first shape that we want to position, and we'll just click out on a blank area of the slide so nothing is selected. We're going to position the pointer on the horizontal guide in a blank area of the slide so that the pointer changes to a two-way arrow. So I'll go down here and actually I think what they want are the guides, not the grid lines. They want the guides. So we're going to change that to guides, even though it does say grid lines on page 239. I think they actually want to have the grid lines unchecked and the guides checked. Okay, then what we're going to do is we want to drag this mouse pointer until it becomes a two-way pointing arrow, and we're going to position it at 3 inches. So we position the mouse pointer there, and then we're going to drag down to the 3 inches, which is 3 inches below center, and you'll notice when I get down there I can stop right at the 3 inches and release it. Now position the pointer on the vertical guide. So here's our vertical guide, and we want to drag that 5 inches to the left of center. So we drag over here until we're at the 5-inch mark, and we stop. Drag the left trapezoid so its lower left corner touches the intersection. So we're going to drag it over so that it touches the intersection of those grid marks. Okay, now we're going to position the remaining shapes. So we're going to drag the vertical guide to 2 inches left of center. So I'm going to go over here and grab it at 5. I'm going to drag it over to 2 inches left of center. And I'm going to select the oval shape this time and position it so the lower corner touches the intersection of the vertical horizontal line. So I want to drag this over, and I want to make sure that this mark, I have to make sure that I drag that mark so that that touches the lower corner. And you might have to just sort of position it and move it back and forth because you can't really see those guidelines until it's on the mark. Okay, so there it's pretty close. If I get that edge on both the side and the bottom, it works pretty well. Now we're going to select we want to drag the vertical guide to 2 inches to the right of center. So we're going to drag this over to 2 inches to the right of center. And then we want to put this trapezoid in that guide right there. So now everything is lined up the way that we want it. Then we're going to distribute the shapes. So we want to select each one of the shapes. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key. I've got the right trapezoid selected, and I'll select each one of those shapes. And then I'm going to go to the Drawing Tools, Format tab, and click the Align button. So, Shape Format, and I'm going to click Align. And then it tells us we want to click Align to Slide. so that PowerPoint will adjust the spacing of the pictures evenly between the edges. And then we're going to go ahead and go to Objects again and Align. And this time we want to distribute horizontally. So they distribute them across horizontally. So now they look just like what we see in Figure 2-73 on page 242. Now, with the three shapes still selected, I'm going to have to select mine because I unselected them. Click the Align Middle. So we're going to go back up to Align, and we're going to choose Align Middle so that they align to the middle of the page. And then we want to drag the horizontal guide to 3 inches above center. So here's my horizontal guide. I'm going to drag it up to 3 inches above the center, and the vertical guide to 6.66 to the left of center. So here's my vertical guide, and I want to go to 6.66. So I'm watching my little screen tip there. And that takes me right over to the edge. And then it says select the arrow shape, which is down at the bottom. And we're going to drag that up so that it aligns at the top and at the left edge. So it's going to be aligned here and at the top up there. So it goes over the top of the items. Then what we want to do is we want to flip the shape. So with the shape still selected, if you need to, click the Format Shapes, and we're going to flip the arrow. So we go to the Rotate button and we choose Flip Vertical. So it brings the arrow up. Now we want to change the stacking order. So we're going to, the stacking order is the way that they show up on here. You'll notice how the arrow goes behind the trapezoid here, but over the circle and over the right-hand trapezoid. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that our arrow shape is selected, and then we're going to go up to choose the Send Backward and choose Send to Back, so it's underneath all 3 shapes. Now we're going to group the objects so that they move as one group. So we're going to display the Home tab, and we want to go to the Select and select all, or we could do a Control-A to select all, and then click the Drawing Tools Format tab, and we're going to choose Group and then click Group. Now if I move one, they'll all move together as one group. It combines all the shapes into one. Now we're going to add another shape. So starting at the bottom of page 246, we want to insert another shape. So with the Drawing Tools Format tab selected, we're going to click the symbol More button. The symbol More button is found over at the far left in the Insert Shapes area. So we're going to click the More button to see all the shapes, and we're going to insert 3 shapes at the bottom. So the moon shape, we're going to go ahead and go to the, so we're going to apply the moon shape to the left edge under Basic Shapes. Here's the moon shape. So I'm just going to click under the left trapezoid. Then I have to click the More button, and this time I want a flow chart, and I want the one called Flowchart Punched Tape. So I click that and I add that underneath the oval or ellipsis, and then I go to the last one, and in Basic Shapes I want the sun, and I add that below the right hand trapezoid. So now we're going to click select all three shapes. So I want to make sure I hold down my shift key so that all three shapes are selected. And then I'm going to apply the shape style. And it says use the light one outline colored green. It's the third style in the third theme styles. So here's the third, so we want to choose the light outline 1 right up here, the light colored outline 1. Accent 2. So it's the third style right underneath theme style. So I apply that to the three selected shapes. And then I want to proportionately resize these. So I go to the moon, and we want to size this 1.5. I just hit the tab key by 0.8 and hit the tab key again. Then I select the flowchart picture. That's going to be 1.5 by 1.5. And then I want to select, okay, I'm sorry, the sun is supposed to be 1.5 and 1.5. And then the banner is supposed to be 1.5 by 6.5. Okay, and now of course they're kind of, some might be sitting over each other, which is okay. We're going to select the moon. I'm going to drag this over here. And we're going to, it looks like we kind of want the sun right on the edge of the banner here, and we want to select the moon and put that on the edge of the banner here. And that moon was supposed to be 0.8. So there I go. I have it where I want it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to merge the shapes. So select the moon, the banner, and the sun shape. Just like that. I've got all three selected. And then I'm going to click the Merge Shapes on the Drawing Tools Format tab. And you find that right over here. I click Merge Shapes. And then click Combine the Shapes. So it's going to look like this, as you see in figure 2.86. Now, type a smart thermostat in the banner. So click in the banner, or let's deselect first. Click in the banner, and we're going to type in a smart thermostat. And then press the Enter key and type in works night and day. And then it says to select the font, or it says to change the font. I'm going to select the font, and it says to increase the font to 24. So I will go ahead and select 24 from my little quick menu there, and then I can click away. Now we're going to hide the grid and guidelines. So I'm going to go back up to my View tab, and I'm going to click to turn off the ruler and the guides. And we're going to apply a picture fill to a shape. So display slide number 4. and we'll be ready to